On the third minute, it was a lovely long high ball up towards the right. Not to the right, to right.
To right.
To right.
To right, on the right.
Absolutely. Oh, I've got the hiccups now. 2 seconds.
What make you a fright?
The image that you gave me earlier on gave me fright enough.
Couldn't resist that.
I hope you washed all those important little places, Dave.
Certainly did. I had the loof out, mate, don't you worry.
Oh no. Why did I go there?
And the stadium erupts in red, white and blue. You've never seen anything like it.
Let's go.
Manchester, brace yourself.
Rangers are coming!
Hi everyone and welcome to the next episode of the I Ready podcast. As ever, I'm your host Derek and with me is my co-host Dave. How are you doing, Dave?
I'm very well, Derek, and I've just actually tuned in to find out the half-time score of the Slavia Prague-Arsenal game. Absolutely fantastic. Get it right up with Slavia Prague. I hope Arsenal go on to get at least another 3 in the second half.
Absolutely. You completely stole my line there, Dave. To a word, you stole my line there. Get it up them, and also leading in with the fact that we're getting beat as well. So
exactly. Brilliant stuff.
Racism never prospers, so there you go. Fuck them. But yes, we've got a few bits and pieces to talk about. A couple of wins. Our unbeaten record is still intact, and a lot of news to cover as well, Dave, haven't we?
Excellent. Yes, let's go for it.
Yeah, we're going to try and rush through it tonight. So it'll be a 5-hour podcast then.
Exactly.
Yes. So as ever, we'll go down the tunnel and onto the pitch. Obviously, before we get into things, we've got to cover the sad passing of Prince Philip the other day as well. 99 years old, only a couple of months short of his 100th birthday. Just really, really sad. And it's not until you actually see all the tribute programmes, you see what a life the guy had and what a servant he was to this country.
Exactly, Derek. I had a good idea of some of the things that he's done before, and notably the Duke of Edinburgh Awards as well, which was absolutely massive and has been for decades, giving young people throughout fantastic opportunities and stuff like that. So it's he's been a fantastic servant to the nation and of course to the Queen, and it's a very sort of sad time for the whole country. So I can't really say much more than that, Derek. His funeral will be on Saturday. Got to feel for the royal family as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Certainly, all around the country, all clubs held a minute's silence before their game, which was impeccably observed. Well, except Run Club, obviously, and you guessed it. Even when their fans are not in the stadium, Celtic fans still disgrace themselves by letting off fireworks outside the ground when the minute silence was ongoing and posted it online too. So, just unbelievable. The greatest fans in the world, as always, but police are investigating anyway, but I don't think they'll need to try too hard to figure out who it was.
The fact that you said that, Derek, that they actually posted it on social media when they were doing it is just, again, it's exactly what we would expect for that mob, isn't it? So absolutely disgraceful scenes there.
But anyway, talking about us though, we go into the first game, which is Sunday the 4th of April. It was a 4-0 win at home against Cove Rangers in the Scottish Cup third round. A bit of a formality, wasn't it?
Certainly was, Derek, but still a game. I think we were just all happy, to see a game getting played again, and the fact that we've got the league wrapped up. This is another big competition for us to try and win. So, an excellent performance is what we were looking for, and we got a fantastic result as well.
Yeah, obviously the added incentive was the fact that we'd be playing Celtic in the next round as well. So, always a good thing. 7 changes from our last outing 2 weeks ago against Celtic. We lined up McLaughlin, Patterson, Goldson, Helander, Bassey, Arfield, Davis, Kamara, Roof, Wright and Defoe. On the subs bench were McGregor, Simpson, Hadji, Itten, Kent, Aribo, Morelos, Stewart and Balogan. So even though there was 7 changes, still a bloody formidable side, wasn't it?
Yeah, fantastic team to be able to put out, Derek, and great to see the likes of Jermaine Defoe and that playing again, because he's always always a threat, regardless what opposition that we're playing against. And it was just, as you say, just an excellent team. We could put out a team that we would strongly fancy to beat vast majority of clubs in Scotland. So big difference for where we were even just 2 seasons ago, isn't it? So it's great. It's great to see, and it's great that these players are putting a challenge in and challenging the rest of the so-called first team, to try and get in top team football.
Yep. On the 3rd minute, a lovely long high ball up towards right. A good takedown, drove it towards the edge of the box, got the shot off and it deflected wide for the corner. 7th minute, a quick break down the right. Patterson cuts back the ball back to the middle. Roof, who was running in, has a shot but wide. 10th minute was a corner in, a bit of a pinball moment. Roof with a half volley off the inside of the left post and right into the arms of the keeper. Unlucky that one there. However, we broke the deadlock on the 23rd minute with Defoe scoring, and it was an absolute stunner. The Cove keeper kicks it up the park, comes to our player near the halfway line. A pass to Defoe, who has his back to goal from about 35 yards. A lovely touch to control and spin. He drove it forward 10 yards and a fantastic shot into the bottom left corner. He's been out for so long, only had bit parts of games in the last wee while, and he still can produce absolute magic like that.
It shows you how much a quality player he is, Derek, regardless of his age. And as you say there, the limited game time he got, as soon as he turned on that ball, you knew he was going to get a shot away, didn't you? And it was absolutely sensational. Brilliant goal. Great. I absolutely love Defoe. I think he's fantastic and just absolutely delighted for him that he scored. And it was just an absolute belter of a goal as well.
Brilliant. 28th minute, Defoe was charging to pick up a loose ball in the box, was under pressure and he hits it wide. And then Dave, do you remember what you texted me just before this moment?
Derek, I certainly do, and I stand by what I text you as well, because there's been quite a few times that you've been agreeing with me as well recently, but you can enlighten our listeners as to what happened.
Yes, between the 28th and 30th minute, Dave says, I don't understand what Roof's doing. He's completely ineffective. Well, over the next 2 minutes, he scored 2 goals, didn't he, Dave? So please, Dave, if you've got the commentator's curse every time, please send me the type of text.
Listen, I would be delighted to do it, Derek. Unfortunately, I've been sending you these texts quite a lot recently, and that's the only time that it's really came back to bite me in the arse, shall we say. So, no, please for Roof, I've got absolutely no doubt that he's given it 100% and he's enjoying being here, but I'm still not convinced, Derek. We'll put it that way. Before
we get into his goals, I've just pulled up his stats here. 30 appearances, 14 goals. Okay. That's a goal every other game, pretty much. That's a good record, Dave.
Yep, it is. But I'm still not convinced, Derek. I'm not going to totally slag the guy off, but there's something missing for me, Derek. There's something just no quite right there. But no, as you say, stats wise, it sounds good, but it's just there's something that I'm still no 100% about there.
Well, we'll try and change your mind within the next 2 minutes here. Because on the 30th minute, he scored his first of the game to make it 2-0. A cross in from the left by Defoe. Arfield picks up the ball at the edge of the box, hits a shot. The keeper saved it. Roof with the follow-up, tapping it into the net. Just poacher's instinct there. Just unlucky from Arfield as well. It was a great shot.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And then 2 minutes later, he made it 3-0. And it was a lovely interplay between Patterson and right down the right. There we go, right down the right.
Yep.
Right into the box, cuts it across, Roof running in and blasts it high into the net from close range. Again, just lovely charging in play there. Great striker awareness, but it was all about the play between Patterson and Wright as well.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yep. And we basically rounded out the game on the 43rd minute because Patterson made it 4-0. We were putting Cove under a lot of pressure near their box. They played the ball across their box at the 18-yard line. Patterson charges the defender down, nips the ball from him and shoots into the back of net. From a youngster, that's incredible. For a right back, that's even better. That was just a stunning goal, I felt. Probably the goal of the game.
Definitely, and it took some to beat to say that over Defoe's goal, Derek, but it was tremendous. His all-round play, we'll talk about him at the end of the game, but it just seemed to grow and grow and grow until, in my opinion, by far the best man on the pitch, Derek. I thought he was absolutely sensational, and as you say, that's a couple of goals that he scored from us from sort of that run down the right wing, cutting into the box, and it was, as you say, just an absolutely fantastic finish, and he's fully confident at the moment, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. So Delighted with that. Game was really over, done and dusted, even at 1-0, to be honest. It's no disrespect to Cove Rangers. They were playing a club, the newly crowned champions,
yep.
high on form, just outstanding team. Was never going to be in any doubt. Second half, we kind of thought there was going to be a lot of goals like the first half, but it never really came, and the game was a bit of a damp squib in the second half.
It was. It turned into a bit of a training exercise, Derek, didn't it? It was still some excellent interplay between the two guys that you mentioned just before that, Wright and Patterson. The two of them for me sort of ran the game, but again the pace really slowed. I don't know if the management were quite happy with that, just to make sure the players are getting through unscathed, but keeping fitness levels up and things like that. I'm not sure if that was the plan or not, or just the way that the game panned out.
Yeah, absolutely. The only couple of things I've got to say about the second half is in the 45th minute, just at half time, Davis came off and Hadji on. He did pick up a booking in the first half, and he had played 2 international games as well during the midweek. And on the 53rd minute, it was a lovely 20-yard through ball to Defoe on the edge of the box. Takes it into the box, hits a shot, but blocked by the keeper and knocked away. That was really the closest we came all half, to be honest. As you said, it was a training exercise. A couple of subs, 62nd minute, Roof off and on, 73rd minute, Defoe off and Stewart on, and that's how the game finished up.
Yeah, no, it's a great result, Derek, and even though the second half did slow down, it was still a very professional performance. And I thought, like I said, Wright had an excellent game. A lot of people gave him man of the match, but I thought that Patterson was, the head and shoulders the best player on the pitch. I thought he was tremendous throughout.
Yep, absolutely. So that put us into the next round, and as I said, that was against Celtic, so a good incentive.
Yep, definitely.
Next game we've got to cover is on Sunday, the 11th of April. It was a 2-1 win at home against Hibs in the Premiership. Before we start this game, obviously we've got to talk about the junior MyGears members were given a task to do, and they drew the player pictures for the game as well. Some of them were absolutely amazing. Roof in particular, as well as the egg for Gerrard, just outstanding.
Superb stuff. No, it was good to see. I thought at first, I wondered at first, but before I actually read what was going on, what had happened, that I'd went into the wrong account or something like that. But then I saw exactly what happened. But great touch by the club as well to get the younger fans involved. So well done with that one. Yeah,
I mean, that's what MyGears is all about. Giving fans a wee bit of fun like that to do with the club, have an interaction with them. It's not something that we've ever done before, and especially getting the youngsters involved as well. That is what MyGears is about, not about what you can get out of it, about what we can include Rangers fans in, especially the young ones. So the next time you're moaning about MyGears and what points gets you, just think about that if you've got any youngsters that are on it.
Yeah, definitely.
The game itself, though, we made 5 changes from the Cove game, as we kind of expected. There was also the 1 minute silence in tribute to Prince Philip as well. We lined up Mcgregor, Patterson, Goldson, Helander, Barisic, Aribo, Davis, Kamara, Roof, Kent and Morelos. On the subs bench were McLaughlin, Bassey, Simpson, Hadji, Itten, Zungu, Wright, Stewart and Arfield. I would say my only disappointment with that one is Wright never got his game. He dropped to the bench in this one. I
think quite a lot of people were expecting him to play, Derek, considering how well he played in the last game. I realised that sort of front three are probably Steven Gerrard's sort of first choice front three to put in there. They're guys apart from Alfredo that you can't play, but the other two being big money signings he's made. So I don't know if that's what he's wanting to try and get back to that. But certainly a lot of people really surprised that Wright wasn't involved, including myself, because I was really looking forward to see him playing against much better opposition than we played before. That's no disrespect to Cove, but I was quite surprised with that one.
Yeah. So the first half overall, it was a decent first half. We controlled a lot of it, but Hibs still were dangerous. I think the first half hour we played very well, and then Hibs started coming back into it in the last 10-15 minutes with a number of efforts going by wide of the posts, but it's certainly dangerous there. We had a lot of possession in the early stages, couldn't do anything with it as the Hibs had packed the midfield as well, and they were trying to hit us in the break. 17th minute, Kent with a shot from distance, hit with pace, but it went well wide. 18th minute, Hibs with a shot from distance. It was on target, but it was a trundler and didn't trouble McGregor at all. We had the ball in the back of the net in the 19th minute, but was ruled offside. It was great play from Davis getting forward. He played a great ball into the right-hand side of the box for Morelos, who collects the ball. He has a shot. It looked as if it was drifting wide. Roof slides in and puts it into the back of the net. Roof did, however, drift in the offside position, so it was kind of unlucky, that one there, but the correct decision.
Yep.
And I don't know what you've seen, but me and my dad both seen it as well. Is it seemed to be that spurred the players on. It looked as if they were angry, and then a minute later they got the goal. On the 20th minute, Aribo made it 1-0. It was a cross in from the left, a bullet header by Roof, a great save from the keeper, but spilled, knocked to the edge of the box to Aribo, who dinks it one way, dinks it back to the right, and then passes to Patterson on the right. A lovely dink ball to Morelos just inside the box, who tries a snap cross. It was deflected back out to Aribo, who had a lovely volley into the right side past the keeper. What control and what composure and what technique by Aribo there.
You've took the words right out of my mouth there, Derek. It was all about technique because the ball was really high. It was a very acute angle as well. He had a split second for that ball to drop, and the way that he was able to twist his body and hit the ball absolutely perfectly. It was a stunning goal, absolutely brilliant. Really pleased for Aribo because I think that he had sort of fallen away a wee bit in the past few games, and I thought he was really back to top form, and just an absolutely sensational goal to break the scoring and get us on the score sheet. Just absolutely tremendous goal.
Yep, absolutely. On the 27th minute, Boyle for Hibs goes down in the box. A yellow card was given for diving. I mean, for me, no chance it was a penalty, but no chance it was a dive either. I think it drew a bit of controversy and a bit of a split opinion on this one, but I didn't think it was a dive at all. What was your views, Dave?
There was very minimal contact there, Derek. It definitely wasn't a penalty. It looked like a fair challenge there, but there was slight contact, so he did go down. Don't think he was maybe sort of over exaggerating the contact that was made. So I wasn't really bothered, Derek, as long as the referee saw that it was a penalty to them, then I was quite happy. But no, exactly the same as you. I didn't. There was no way it was a penalty for me.
No, I mean, I think the thing folk are saying that he didn't complain about the yellow card, but he never actually claimed for the penalty either.
No.
And there's some players that just accept if a referee's given a decision, he's not going to change it, so there's no point actually arguing with him and blotting your copybook anymore. So. Yep. But anyway, on the 38th minute, this is when Hibs started to come back in. Yeah, they got a break. It was passed forward to the attacker who got between the defence, has a shot from the edge of the box and just wide. Mcgregor was diving at full stretch as well. Just disappointing that getting the spaces through the back there. 40th minute, there was another shot from Hibs at the edge of the box, just wide. Mcgregor, he did get his fingertips to it. He claimed he never, and after some industrial language heard on the TV, you could tell he wasn't happy.
Yeah,
anyway.
No, definitely.
I would rather him be like that than just a shrinking violet.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
And then that was half time. So certainly a wee bit to be concerned about towards the end of the half, but overall got to be very happy. 1-0 up, in control for pretty much the most of it.
No, it was, Derek, and I know that the Hibs were getting more on the ball, as you say, coming to the end of the game, but I was still, really happy that we had sort of bossed the game, as a whole at that point. And like I said before, pleased for Aribo, because I feel that it's goal, it's things like that he needs to get his confidence boosted, because he has been quite quiet for us in the past half a dozen games. So delighted for him, great goal, and winning at half time and looking to see out the game to try and kill it off in the second half. That's all you can ask for.
Yep. So into the second half, no changes. On the 60th minute, Patterson down the right, passes to Aribo in the box, gets to the touchline, holds it up, cuts it back to Patterson, who had now drifted into the box, who has a shot, but it was well over the bar. And on the 62nd minute, we went 2-0 up with Kent scoring another absolutely brilliant goal from him, trademarked Kent. The ball passed to Kent on the right-hand side. He cuts inside again. He keeps going and then unleashes a stunning shot into the bottom left corner. As I said, classic Kent. The only thing he never done is cut it back to the other side when he had the shot, but it didn't matter anyway because it was just perfectly executed.
It's fantastic, Derek. It's goals. I mean, he's done that, all too often, hasn't he? You don't know if he's going to shoot first time or no, but as you say, actually feigned the man twice there. He had a shot, cut back, went to go for another shot, cut back, and then it absolutely battered it. And it was a tremendous, the accuracy in the shot as well. Absolutely sensational stuff. That's the reason that guy was brought in. That's the reason that we paid all that money for him. More times than not, he's been, really effective for us and just tremendous. 2-0 up at that stage, 2 fantastic goals, and it's moments like that really give the team a lift, isn't it? When you get bits of magic like that, so you could see everybody was well up for it for that point. So absolutely delighted.
Yep. 69th minute, Hibs into the box on the right-hand side, got in space and a shot with a big save from Mcgregor and eventually cleared. So certainly they weren't out of it yet, and we had to be very careful.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
70th minute, Hibs free kick from 25 yards up and over the wall, forcing Mcgregor to make the save out of the corner. I think it looked a bit more dramatic than it really was. The corner came in and the ball was bundled over the line, but a foul was given in any case. Yeah. And this is what was this is a moment of controversy as well, because Hibs were claiming that certainly it should have stood and there was no foul. I can't remember much of the incident, but there was no much complaints at the time from any team, to be honest, was there?
No, there definitely wasn't.
No. 71st minute, Morelos and Aribo off, Hadji and Arfield on. 73rd minute, Hadji with a shot from distance but well over. And in the 78th minute, Hibs drew a goal back and made it 2-1. Barisic gives the ball away on the right, ball floated into the near post. Hibs attacker gets a looping header to it and into the back of the post. A poor goal to lose, really out of nothing.
Yep.
And Barisic again in the game, giving the ball away far too easy.
Aye, really quite strange, Derek, for a guy who's usually so clinical, isn't he? He's so composed. His passing's usually 100%. He usually looks so sure on the ball, even when he's defending as well. I know we're used to him getting down the wing and putting some great balls in, but usually defence-wise, he would never do anything like that. Here's hoping, touch wood, that's a complete one-off, because it's something that you're just not used to seeing, and as you say, really, really poor by our standards considering the way the defence has been this season. So I'm sure the defence and the manager will be absolutely raging. That the fact that we gifted them the goal like that. So no, that was really disappointing, Derek.
Yep, absolutely. 81st minute, Hadji with a free kick from 20 yards, skiffs off the underside of the wall who had jumped up. The keeper makes a diving save and gathers it on the second attempt. And on the 89th minute, Roof and Davis off it and Nzungu on. And that's how the game ended up. So delighted with the 3 points, still unbeaten. As you said, disappointed to lose a clean sheet there. Yes. But ultimately, Hibs never really attacked us after that. So all good.
Yeah, no, it was apart from that one, goal. Derek actually thought we looked really solid as a unit in there, and it was just very uncharacteristic, isn't it? That that we've done something like that. So, like I said, we'll put that down to being a one-off. Here's hoping that they're completely focused certainly for the next game that's coming up. Don't make any silly mistakes, and I'm sure we'll be fine.
Yep. So in the table, we have played 34, won 29, drawn 5, lost 0, scored 80, conceded 11, goal difference plus 69, and we're on 92 points. 20 points ahead of Celtic still, and 21 better goal difference. They clawed back some goal difference after their 6-0 win against Livingston, which, they've won a game emphatically, their first in ages, and they think they're world beaters again.
Definitely, so right.
I love the overconfidence with that one there. Just of note as well, the 11 goals conceded, they were still on track for the British record, I think it is, of the least amount of goals conceded in a season. Chelsea hold the record just now. I think that was in 2003-2004 season, and they only conceded 15. So 4 games to go. We'll see how that pans out. Obviously a game against Celtic as well, and we're playing the other teams in the top 6. So certainly all to play for that one.
Definitely, Derek, and it keeps these things. I mean, as I say, I know that we've won the league, but it's good that we still have these games that we're desperate to win. Do you know what I mean? The fans are well up for it. That makes the players well up for it as well. So, still a lot of football left to be played, and here's hoping. Touch wood. I mean, I know we'd rather that we got that, Derek, and we got the Scottish Cup, but as I say, we just need to remember how we were, at the start, sort of February time. We kept saying it, one game at a time, Derek. Just concentrate on the next game, and that's what we've got to hope that the team do.
Yep. So talking of the next games, the next game is, as you alluded to, on Sunday, the 18th of April, at home against Celtic in the Scottish Cup Round 4. It was meant to be the Saturday at 4 p.m. However, Prince Philip's funeral is kind of clashing with that one, even though it is at 12 o'clock, the funeral, I think it is. It was just out of respect we moved the game.
Yes.
I think the other games are in the Scottish leagues are moving, I think, as well to 12 o'clock or something like that.
Yes, I think they are. Yep.
The English games are, yeah. However, that didn't stop the Sevco tweets anyway. You know, moving the game out of respect, nothing to do with Rangers or Celtic at all. It was not a decision made by the authorities. At Brian Celtic 1967 tweeted, Sevco using the death of Prince Philip to get their game postponed so Tav is back fit. Everyone top to bottom in this country is against us, and don't ever feckin' forget it. Shamrock, 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 Shamrock.
Get it right up, yeah. That's all I have to say. They really have got short memories, Derek. I don't know how many times in this podcast me and you have spoken about the absolute atrocity that they used to get the game postponed against us a few seasons back, and they used the death of a former player who wasn't playing for them at the time and had never played with any of the current playing staff at that point. They used that to get a game postponed when they had a load of injuries and suspensions. They've got a short memory, Derek. For us, absolutely nothing to do with it. Even though Tav's out, we have a deputy there that can step in who's more than capable to play there. So I've got no worries there. But as you say, just really it's pathetic, and get it right up them. I love it when they're getting wound up with things like that, Derek. I really do.
Bobby Madden has been announced as the ref for that game as well. I mean, I don't know why people complain when a referee gets announced, because they're all shite. They're all as bad as each other. So.
I know. But Derek, it's sin we're making. I think we've just done so many bad calls for each of these referees that it wouldn't matter who it was. And that was my gut instinct there. As soon as you said Bobby Madden, I went, oh, for God's sake. I think it's just one of these things. It could have been anybody, exactly like what you said. But there is a few more. If it had been Clancy, I really do think I would have been absolutely raging. So, but I will just have to wait and see what happens.
Saying that, I think Brother Madden forgot the memo at the lodge the last time he refed us, so we'll wait and see. Next game after that is Wednesday, the 21st of April, away to St Johnstone in the Premiership. That's a 1900 kickoff. It was meant to be 7:45, but both clubs asked for it to be 45 minutes early for some reason. So I don't know if that's maybe travelling issues. I don't know.
Not sure.
Yep, and then we play Celtic right after that on Sunday the 2nd of May at home against them in the Premiership. That's a midday kick-off. Wednesday the 12th of May away to Livingston. That's a 19:45 kick-off. And as we've said, Saturday the 15th of May, the last game of the season, if we don't get through to the cup final, that's against Aberdeen in the Premiership. That's a 12:30 kick-off, and that's Trophy Day. So
yes,
a lot to play for, as you said.
Definitely, yeah, lots to play for. Some big games coming up, Derek. Teams that we know will be really giving 100% against us when we play them. So I mean, that's good. That's what we want. We want our players to be tested and to come through and win every game, so that there's no any excuses made. So bring it on. Yep.
So we've wrapped that up in fairly jig time, haven't we, Dave?
Fantastic. Yes. I'm sure our listeners will be saying the same thing.
So we may as well batter on now and go into the classic match.
And there it is! The final whistle's gone! Rangers have won the European Cup Winners' Cup!
Dave, you've got a classic match for us, haven't you?
Derek, I have. And this is a game that I had the privilege of being at, even though it was at their stadium. But it's a game that I was 100% sure that we had covered, because one of the goals in this game is probably my favourite goal of all time. And I know that we all have our favourites. We have the Davy Cooper free kick. We have, goals scored by Ali McCoist against Leeds United. Goals. Even this season, the free kick that Tav scored into Dundee United and stuff like that. Some tremendous goals. But this goal for me, Derek, that I'll get into, is probably the best goal that I've seen. It's one that I've watched umpteen times, and like I said, I was positive that we had covered this game, and when I look back at my list of classic matches, I couldn't quite believe it, and I had to get you to check it. It was the Scottish Cup match, Derek, which was played on the 5th of April 1998, and it was played at Celtic Park because Hampden was being renovated at the time. Rangers played a very sort of defensive formation in this game. The team on the day was Andy Gorham. We had Alec Cleland playing right wing back. We had George Alberts playing left wing back. Three centre halves, Gough, Petric and Bjorkland. Then into midfield, Jonas Tern, Reno Gattuso and Stuart McCall. So Gattuso and McCall two, I would say, sort of ball-winning midfielders in amongst that team as well. And then, of course, you had Ali McCoist up front, and he was partnered by Brian Laudrup. So it was a sort of very strange team that was put out. The Celtic team on that day was Gould, Boyd, Annoni, Donnelly, Reaper, Stubbs, Larsson, Burley, Black, Lambert and O'Donnell. Subs for Rangers that day, Lorenzo Amoruso, who was about to make his debut, had just been signed for the club. Gordon Durie and Marco Negri, just the three subs there. So early action for Rangers. As I say, Albert's playing on the left wing. He gets the ball on the left-hand side and puts in a fantastic cross for Ali McCoist at the back post. Mark Reaper gets his foot to it and puts it narrowly past his own goal out for the corner. Corner came to nothing, but then straight up the other end, the chance for Donnelly, who was found in the box. He had a sort of cross shot which was parried away by Andy Gorham. Fantastic saving and cleared by the Rangers defence. 11th minute, George Alberts plays Rino Gattuso through to the edge of the box. He shrugs off his man, gets a low shot which goes just past the post to Jonathan Gould. So really unlucky there. And then a sort of half-hearted shot by Henrik Larsson, but easily saved by Andy Gorham in the 13th minute. A couple of minutes after that, Tom Boyd with a snapshot, but well wide and over the bar, high and wide there. And then in the 17th minute, again, Celtic with another chance. We're getting a lot of the ball across into the box. It's sort of held up for Henrik Larsson. He hits a shot, but a fantastic reaction save by Andy Gorham, and he puts the ball over the bar. Tremendous save by Gorham there. And then on the 19th minute, I just mentioned it before, but Lorenzo Amoruso was called into action early to make his debut for Rangers. Gordon Petric is injured, and Lorenzo Amoruso steps in for his debut, and he was absolutely fantastic. I'll always remember it. It was tremendous. So for about the next sort of 15 minutes, both teams sort of feeling each other out. There wasn't really much to write home about. In the 35th minute, chance for Celtic as O'Donnell heads the ball across the face of the goal, but there was no one there to put the ball in, so Rangers got away with that one. So still 0-0. And then just before half-time, Celtic with a great chance. O'Donnell, he shoots for the edge of the box. Great diving save by Gorham. It comes back to Simon Donnelly just to tap in, but a tremendous last-ditch tackle by Richard Gough right on there. Gets his foot to it and manages to get the ball away to keep it 0-0. So still, and that went into half-time. Celtic having more of the ball in the first half. I think Rangers, they weren't really getting Brian Laudrup on the ball much, but that was about to change in the second half. So starting off the second half, Celtic with a half chance there. Stubbs with a header from a corner which was just wide. And then for about the next 15 minutes after that, Rangers really start to get into control of the game. They're getting the passing game going. Celtic were unable to get the passing play. They were using Gattuso and Stuart McCall really well to get in there, win the ball back. Celtic couldn't make more than sort of two passes without them being tackled. And then a man who'd been very quiet in the game, Jonas Tern on the right-hand side, he runs into the Celtic half and a fantastic high pass to Brian Laudrup. He allowed the ball to bounce and struck, and it was a great save by Gould out for the corner. So that was maybe the wee start of, that we got to see about Brian Laudrup, because he was now starting to get on the ball, given that free run down both wings. And then on the 65th minute, Brian Laudrup on the right-hand side, he puts the ball infield to George Alberts, who'd made that run for the left wing back. He hits a fantastic low shot, going for the bottom corner. Great save by Jonathan Gould, gets the ball away, so still 0-0. Brian Laudrup again, the 71st minute, in his own half, he dinks the ball over his head and then runs at the defence. George Alberts overlaps again. The two of them getting some joy now. He puts the ball over to George Alberts. He plays him in. George Alberts, you're expecting the net to burst, but he just fires his shot just wide there. So really unlucky, but we knew that something was happening. Rangers were getting more and more on the ball, more and more. We're getting Alberts and Brian Laudrup involved. And then finally on the 75th minute, Rangers take the lead.
And this time it's Alberts on the chase. He's tested Celtic already once with a driven shot. This one's McCoist!
Well, it is. McCoist has scored.
1-0 to Rangers, and it's the old stager who's done it again for Walter Smith. How often has this man been the scourge of Celtic. Ali McCoy scores his 27th goal in an Old Firm derby. It's just the breakthrough that Rangers needed, and after all the pressure that they've been under in this game, he may well have carried them to the cup final.
Yeah, absolutely. There's wonderful striking from McCoy. He ran right across the face of the last defender, and a wonderful cross by Albers was met by the head of Alan.
George Albert's on the left wing. He puts in a fantastic cross into the 6-yard box. It bounces up. The Celtic defender misses it, and who's there? Just waiting to pounce, of course. It's Super Ali McCoy, so a diving header. He fires himself in there, gets the header, bounces down past the goalkeeper into the net. Tremendous goal, fantastic cross by Brian Laudrup, and we really had knocked the stuffing out of Celtic at that point because they couldn't do anything against us. We were really going for it. And then a minute later, George Albert's getting on the ball again. He hits a curled shot for the edge of the box, just past the post. Really, absolutely, really unlucky there, just over. Then Amoruso, he gets the ball laid off to him. Now, we all know what Amoruso, he can strike a ball as well, and this was a sort of wee taster. 84th minute, Amoruso, the ball's laid off to him by George Albert, so he hits it from miles out, absolutely thunders it. The ball moves, and then it's just a last-ditch save by Gould again and put away. So it was an absolutely sensational strike. And then 85th minute, Brian Laudrup picks up a loose ball, shoots and saved by the legs of Gould. Really unlucky there. Still 1-0 to Rangers. 88th minute.
And this is a great break again from Alberts. Laudrup to his right. McCoy's gone through the middle. He's not going to need any of them. He's going to go all the way.
A magnificent goal from Alberts.
What a splendid finish to a superb run from Alberts. And Rangers now surely in the final to give Walter Smith a great sign-off as their manager.
Yeah, Alberts has had an outstanding game, and this capped it all. What a goal. He gets this ball in his own half, and he runs at least 40 yards with the ball, past 2-3 Celtic defenders, and what a finish that was. That's one of the best goals I've seen in a long, long time.
George Alberts, this is what happens. Just it's one of the goals you'll always remember. 88th minute, Rangers get the second goal and wrap this game up. George Alberts gets the ball in his own half, gets it under control, and then just runs and runs and runs. He starts off on the left-hand side in his own half, runs basically diagonally across to the opposite side of the Celtic box, beats one man, beats another man, cuts into the box, and then shoots the ball across his own body right into the top corner of the net. It's one of them, as I say, I keep saying, one of my favourite goals of all time. Absolutely sensational by George Alberts. Tremendous. A goal worthy of winning any match. Simply sensational by George Alberts there. That made it 2-0. Celtic really couldn't do much at that point. They knew the game was over. They were still trying to pull a goal back, and they did manage it right at the depth of the game when Burley pulled one back.
Now Simon Donnelly, 3 players to his left. Burley! And Celtic at least have the consolation of a goal, and there's no surprise that they want to get on with it.
But it was all too little too late for Celtic. Rangers in the last sort of 30-35 minutes of the second half. Absolutely tremendous. Brian Laudrup and George Alberts ran the show at that point, and it was just a fantastic game for us. Playing that formation but still managing to make as many chances, it showed you the class that the likes of George Alberts was, and we all know how good Brian Laudrup was. So I was there that night, really pleased that we managed to win that game. It was played at Celtic Park. I think they'd sort of split or nearly split the tickets down. Rangers got about 22,000 fans in the stadium, and I was lucky enough to be one of them, and it was just a night to remember for that goal by George Alberts. Just absolutely fantastic.
I kind of had to laugh at you saying that they used Parkhead because Hampden was getting renovated. They were still building that fucking shit heap of Parkhead at the time when the game was going on.
Exactly, Derek. Yep. No,
but yeah, what a game! Just what a stunning goal, as you said, one of the best. And there'll always be that iconic picture of McCoy celebrating, and they've got the half-built Parkhead in the background,
yes,
and kind of McCoist almost like kind of in tears there as well. It was absolutely fantastic. So, what a game. Unfortunately, the final never worked out quite so well, did it?
No, it didn't, Derek. No, the same with that season as well, Derek. It didn't quite work out for us that season. And, at that point, that had been, the first half of the season had been looking so promising with Marco Negri and stuff like that, as we've spoke about before. And then he got his injury. As I should say, and Ali McCoist had stepped in for his sort of final swan song with the team and scored quite a few goals, but it wasn't to be. But even so, that game was fantastic, and any victory against Celtic, especially at their stadium, is one to remember, and that certainly was, especially for that goal that George Albert scored.
Yeah, so a great match there. Hopefully it's got shades of this game coming up as well.
Definitely,
Yep. And we'll have another classic match in the next episode. So we'll go now into the news. So a fair bit of news to cover, and it really mainly surrounds the one issue about the racism issue. UEFA took 3 weeks to announce that Cadella would be given a 1-match ban pending a further investigation, and would be investigating Kamara over his alleged assault on Cadella as well, which would see him getting a 5-game ban. What had they been doing for the previous 3 weeks? So basically what they had done is had an investigation to see if they needed an investigation.
Exactly, yep. I was exactly the same as you, Derek. I thought to myself, what on earth has been happening all this time for them to come, finally come away and to come away with that decision as well? It was an absolute farce. Derek, we spoke about it in the last pod. We knew that it would probably end up being like that, but as I say, it's just, as you say, a complete and utter farce, taking so long to come up with a decision like that. It's just, what the hell were they doing? We still honestly don't know, but it's just, you really do shake your head at that point, because you don't know what to expect. When something like that comes out, and you're left completely flabbergasted.
Yeah, I mean that's only the first point, Dave. I mean, we've got a litany of posts here where you need to shake your head at. A week later, so that's just a couple of days ago, they came back with Cadella is getting a 10-game ban and Kamara getting a 3-game ban. Now, really surprised at that Cadella got anything at all, but it's clearly not enough. And for Kamara to get any sort of ban as well for standing up to racism is an absolute joke. Both the bans are a disgrace for the fact that Cadella should have been getting much, much longer, and Kamara shouldn't be getting anything at all. And I would love to know what this apparent assault was for. Or was it a bit of pushing and shoving like what happens a lot in the tunnels between opposition players? Or was it a proper assault where he punched them? Now, we know that he was playing the next game, and we know that he got onto the team bus unaided, no apparent injuries as well. Yep. So what exactly was the assault?
Exactly, yep, completely.
And this is what makes it, again, even more farcical, is Cadella's ban is for the club Euro competitions and his country European games, whereas Kamara is only for his club games. So Cadella will miss the Euros, so fuck him for that. However, if the Czechs do well, you've got the potential for Cadella to be back in European competition for Slavia before Kamara is.
Yes.
Which is beyond belief.
Incredible, yep, totally.
Ultimately, I think the bottom line is UEFA clearly do not want to tackle racism, and the fact that you can get a bigger fine when it's a commercial issue with the likes of using the wrong kind of Under Armour or telling a teammate you're off to Spain and all they care about is really money. Yep. Obviously, I think, who was that? Kieran Trippier got a 12-game ban for telling a teammate he was off to Spain.
Yep.
And it would have violated betting regulations. I mean, what the fuck is
Incredible.
that?
Yep.
Until sponsors start pulling their money and pulling their sponsorship, nothing is going to happen, because it's clear that UEFA only bother about money. The Champions League and the Europa League have got set sponsors, and they take over all the sponsorship on the stadiums on match day. Maybe as fans, as a collective, we need to start boycotting these companies so that they'll lose money, and they'll threaten to lose their sponsorship with UEFA, and that's maybe when UEFA will start to listen. Further proof that UEFA don't care is when Sky interviewed Alexei Sorokin, I think he is.
Yes.
Is the UEFA member of the FIFA Council, who claimed that it was a waste of time criticising the length of Cadella's suspension, as it was correct. And he says there's usually both sides of criticism, as some complain it's too long and others say it's too short. He said it in such an arrogant way that he
totally.
clearly...
and laughed as well, Derek. Had a wee scoff as well when he was being questioned by, by the reporter from Sky. I've got to say on that point though, Derek, Sky Sports have been fantastic through it all as well. They've really been pushing as well. They've been a great sort of ally on this as well. They are really trying to push the message, and the fact that they've done that. But as you say, the arrogance for the guy, the fact that he kind of scoffed as well, as if to say, well, that's the decision, that's it, end of, and I'm not going, because he wasn't really there for answering any questions at all, Derek. It was extremely arrogant, exactly like what you said.
I mean, he made out there's two sides to the story. See, when you've got a proven racist, there's not two sides to it at all. That person is a racist fuck. There is no two sides to it. Now, bearing in mind, and I'm not saying that this Alexei Sorokin's a racist in the slightest, but look at where he was born. Look at the country he comes from. Look at the federation he represented. That was the Russian Federation, who've got their own major issues with racism.
Yep.
That side of Europe and that side of the world don't seem to care about racism. And I think what we'll get into later on with the officials from the Czech Republic said it's clear that is the case. Rather bizarrely, out of all of this, the Slavia chairman has apologised to Kamara and said that they accept the decision. Sorry, but anyone from that club can stick their apologies right up their shit box as far as I'm concerned.
That's big of them, Derek. The fact that they were 100% behind saying that it was us that was making all of this up for them to suddenly turn around and apologise. You can stick it as exactly what you said, Derek. It's absolutely pathetic. We all knew exactly what was going on. They were so adamant that wasn't the case. It was us that was being made out to be the liars, and for them to finally come away with that sort of half-hearted apology, it was just pathetic.
Yeah, I mean, Cadell has apparently apologised, but he still denies it, and he denies he made the racist comment. Well, of course he would, wouldn't he?
Incredible.
Just an absolute scummy club with scummy players and scummy fans.
And talking about that, though, it's now 4-0 to Arsenal, so get it right up, yes.
Excellent. This came out today as well. The head office for the President of the Czech Republic issued a response claiming that UEFA's 10-game ban was to fulfil the perverted expectations of a small group of activists.
Pathetic. Absolutely pathetic.
Basically, the President and the official representatives of that country is condoning racism there. What chance have you got, Dave?
No, you really don't, Derek. It's always been the same though. It's been the stance for their supporters, from their club, for their officials, from everyone. It has been we're completely innocent, and we're apparently playing to the crowd and trying to appease a very small majority of folk. Is absolutely pathetic. It was clear what happened. They got called out on it, and as you said, Derek, before when you were talking about the guy from UEFA, it was the arrogance of them also. From everything, from their players to their staff to their fans as well, the arrogance there that it was all a lot of rubbish, and the real villains of the piece here was us, and it was Kamar Roof that I'm sure you're about to come into as well, completely separate, and it was as if that was the main sort of incident that happened in the game, and everything else was getting brushed under the carpet. It was pathetic. It left a bad taste in the mouth. And it really, it's how a black player or a player of another race would ever want to go and play for that club, I've got absolutely, no idea, because they all knew exactly what happened, and the defending of the players was quite astonishing, Derek. It really was. If you actually think back at everything that happened, yeah, it's quite unbelievable. They really did go out to make out that everybody else was completely lying about the incident. It was quite incredible.
Yep. Along the same lines, Rangers stated that their players and management would boycott social media for 7 days to make a point about social media companies' lack of efforts to target abuse. This was obviously after our players have been targeted with racist abuse since the Slavia game. So this is what I've always said when it comes to Celtic fans and the Celtic board. The Celtic board do largely fuck all to hammer their fans, like the Green Brigade, about their pro-IRA stances. So ultimately, the fans think they can get away with murder. This is what's happened with Slavia fans now. Because their club have basically came out and denied all knowledge of any racism rather than treat it seriously and like adults really, is their fans then went on a tirade against Roof and against Kamara and against all of our players like that. And obviously with Kamara's ITV interview, so it's made national news as well. And there was a clip of abuse that he is given as well. Somebody sent him a voicemail of it. It's absolutely disgusting. And when clubs don't come down hard on their own fans, it makes fans think that they can do whatever they want.
Exactly, yep. Mm-hmm.
So, and it's the same with social media companies. They've done largely fuck all with it. And we've apparently met with Facebook and Instagram and held constructive talks over the matter. Rangers want to try and force through a verification type thing, but will that stop it? Probably not. It's not finished with the game yet, though, because you did allude to a few things as well.
Yep.
We've been fined, as a club, have been fined €9,000 for having 5 or more players booked in the game. And Roof has been hit with a 4-game ban as they classed his accidental clash with the keeper as an assault.
Incredible.
I'm not sure how you can fine a club for something that happens in a run-of-the-mill contact sport during the course of the match, especially when you've got card-happy refs in Europe like you do. And as for Roof, we're not saying it wasn't a dangerous challenge. We're not saying he shouldn't be banned.
Yep.
It was a complete accident. I know they don't take that into account now. I would have said it was a 2-3 games at most ban, but 4 is completely excessive. And when you're classing a tackle in a game, albeit a dangerous one, as assault, again, you've got nothing to go on. Another case of UEFA being absolute farcical.
Derek, and the way that I looked at it, it was to appease their fans who basically were making out that tackle was the worst thing that happened in the game. Like I've said already, it was an accidental challenge. It was a dangerous challenge. The guy got sent off for it, for God's sake. Do you know what I mean? He was sent off. That was his punishment during the game. Their fans are, making, absolutely nothing of what happened with Kamara. That, to them, I don't know if they just think that that's just not important, these things, and they were making out that tackle was the worst thing that happened in the game. And that, to me, it's as if their club and their fans were being appeased by that happening, and that was the decision that was given. Again, an absolute farce, exactly like what you said. Honestly, it beggars belief, doesn't it? It really does.
Yep. So Rangers have said that they're seeking clarification with UEFA in relation to that, because they are going to appeal both Kamara's ban and Roof's ban. Mm-hmm. So we'll see what happens there. And tonight, Police Scotland apparently have said that they've submitted a report to the Procurator Fiscal in relation to the assault and racism. So I hope, given the fact that UEFA have banned the 2 players and taken action, the thresholds for criminal charges are completely different to what UEFA would do for a footballing, punishment. So you can't take anything what UEFA have done as what will happen in terms of the courts or anything like that. But it'll be interesting to see what happens. I'll be amazed if anything happens with Kamara, to be honest, because certainly you could just go down the route of temporary insanity because of the fact that, or something like that, is temporary out of his mind because he was incensed about what happened and he blacked out. Not condoning violence at all, but put yourself or any of your family members in that position. Exactly, how would you react?
Derek. Exactly, 100% there. Again, like you, Derek, I'm not condoning anything like that, but due to what happened. But again, it's the whole thing. I keep saying it. It's swept under the carpet. Their fans and their officials and their coaching staff, according to them, these things were more serious than the racism was against Kamara. They saw everything else as being much more serious than that, and that says a lot, in my opinion, Derek. Does that not strike you that it was just that? Oh well, that never happened. But they never seemed to be alarmed by these accusations and everything that happened. They were sweeping under the carpet straight away, firing back with the fact that they were saying that Roof had assaulted their player and Kamara had assaulted their player and the thing. It's as if that, in their mindset that is a lot more serious than what had happened, and that to me is really worrying.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll see what kind of transpires with this and the appeals. Still not off certain issues with clubs, as Hibs have been let off with a warning over Irvin Welsh's comments about macheting Morelos into bits and sending them back to Colombia.
Yeah.
I'm not sure any of us were expecting anything to happen,
No.
to be honest. And I'm really not sure how you can hold the club accountable for what is said by an idiot. Then again, when you bring a known idiot in, he's going to say idiotic things. So,
but I mean, there's not much more you can say about it, Derek. It was, again, trying to make out that it was funny for a certain audience and stuff like that. So, if anything, Hibs TV, I'll not have them back on again, and quite rightly so. They shouldn't have anything like that but back on. Hopefully they've been burnt by it and know, and it'll go back to being purely about football. But again, he tried to be smart, Derek. It was in very bad taste, and he was made out to look like the complete plonker that we all know he is.
Yep. Bit of more happier news now, though, is Alan McGregor has signed a 12-month extension to his deal that sees him safe until the end of next season. So, absolutely brilliant. He's been immense again this season. It's just a shame for McLaughlin as well, because he's been immense every time he's came on as well.
That's what I was about to say. He's probably the only person that's not delighted to that, Derek. But, you know, what can you say? He's defying all odds. Been absolutely sensational again, especially this season, both in Europe and domestically. And I bet you national manager would be hoping and praying that he didn't retire either, because he's certainly by far the best Scottish goalkeeper by quite some considerable distance as well. So no, absolutely delighted for him. Keeps him in the team, but as you say, nail up for John McLaughlin, but I'm sure his time will come at one point.
Yep. Leon Balogan has also extended his deal for the same length of time as well, so excellent. That's fantastic.
Yes.
Next thing, £5.5 million worth of shares have been issued and bought by the Three Bears, I believe, so that's bridging the funding gap we've got, so always good to see there. No debts is what the orcs keep telling us we've got.
Exactly, yes.
Yep. Next thing here, which is a bit hilarious to be honest, the COVID-5 each got a 6-game ban with 2 games suspended. I think we said that in the last pod. Yeah. And we're appealing it. So Gerrard stated that he got the ban when all the facts and circumstances were not known. He alluded to other discrepancies such as the debacle with Celtic not being looked into, as well as the fact that Patterson is a very top talent and will affect his Scotland chances as well. That was a bit of a strange comment. It was just kind of taken out of context as well. I initially thought the ban was strange given the fact that it was less than Jones and Edmondson got, but I felt fair enough. However, Rangers have clearly got a point when the fact that Balogan left the country, came back and trained without telling anyone, and they got fuck all banned basically. And then obviously the Dubai issues, especially with Duffy leaving the Celtic bubble there, and then he played the very next game. So it's a good bit of shithousery, if nothing else. Tavernier's still injured, so it means that Patterson can play. The hearing is going to be held on the 20th of April, so that's after the Celtic Cup game. Celtic and John Kennedy clearly are shitting it, that the fact they've got to play against Patterson, as they're questioning the delay and claiming inconsistencies in the process as they got hammered for Balogan. Well, no, they really never.
No.
He also fucked off right after he's got his small ban and he went on loan. So I don't know if that's a case of that the ban counts for when he's out on loan or only when he's actually registered as a Celtic player full time. They're also now questioning the inconsistencies. Well, why did they vote against our investigation into procedures last summer then if they're questioning the same thing that we already highlighted? And John Kennedy's also made this bizarre claim that Celtic are still the best team in Scotland.
Okay.
Yeah.
As Rangers are sitting undefeated in the league, Derek, only have 11 goals conceded and have wrapped up the league in record time. So we can see his logic there, surely.
I mean, he's clearly playing up to the fans and the board so that he can get the job. But exactly here. I mean, that's the thing, is they think he's world beaters, and that's why you see at the weekend. Obviously, we'll be disappointed if we go out the cup to them, but at the same time, it'll do the world a good for his job chances as well. So there is a silver line in it if we don't get the result we're looking for. But in terms of his comments, Gerrard hit back perfectly, and he said that we don't control when the hearings are held. I agree with John on the inconsistencies from the SFA. I feel his pain. If I was John, I'd be frustrated too if good players were available to play against my team.
Yeah, exactly.
We were really strong with punishments for the lads. I don't see any consistency with the outcome of the bans compared to previous situations. In Dubai, social distancing rules were clearly broken and nothing was done. It seems the SFA are guessing with their punishments.
Yes.
Celtic then went on to do their usual when they play the victim. They're seeking clarification from the SFA.
Yeah.
Utterly pathetic, and we've absolutely broken them, haven't we?
It really, Derek. But I mean, we could have scripted a note, from them straight away. It's great that Steven Gerrard spoke out. I really like that, because there was nothing that they could come back with there, being completely honest there. But quite right. It's played into our favour for once. That we're able still to play Patterson in the game, because the way that the guy's been playing, Derek, he's been absolutely sensational. I've been so impressed with him. We all knew that he was, a good young player, but he just seems to be getting better and better. He looks so confident, and it's just great to have him back for that game, because I've been hearing a lot about the fact that Celtic have got the likes of James Forrest and that coming back, but with the young lad Patterson, again, touch wood, I didn't want to jinx him, but I just feel that we play so much better when he's there. A great replacement for Tav, when he's there, because I would really be quite worried if Tav came back and he wasn't fully 100% fit for that game. So just delighted that we've got a young man of such fantastic ability to play in the game for us.
Yep, absolutely. Next thing here is we've applied to cut a few hundred parking spaces off the Albion car park. Relates to us building the new Edmonton house and partially funding it by selling off part of the car park. We've stated that we'll provide alternative parking on various locations elsewhere. Of course, the locals are up in arms, claiming that it's a nightmare on match day as it is. Now, two things on this one. I believe that the plans have already been submitted for housing on derelict ground and part of the Albion car park that will be sold. So it's only likely going to get worse, the car parking anyway. Definitely. And secondly, the stadium has been there for nearly 100 years. Don't fucking live next to a venue that's got 50,000 people at it every other week, you fucking plums.
It's the same with people that live in town centres, Derek, that will make complaints to the council about noise and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? It's like, for fuck's sake, look where you live, for God's sake. But, it's inevitable, Derek, and... it's one of these things. I don't know what's going to happen there, if it's going to get accepted or not. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. Yeah,
I think certainly I can't imagine that anything won't get accepted, but at the same time I do believe that there's obviously there's still ongoing issues with restriction around Ibrox with parking anyway, so I don't know if that will play into it. So as you said, we'll see what happens. Our next piece of news here is, Dave, I know it means nothing to you, but I'm signing up for this tour as soon as it's opening back up, because Drew McIntyre followed up on his words and he's delivered a WWE title, and it's getting put in the trophy room. Absolutely incredible.
I know, Derek, it really doesn't mean anything to me, but I know yourself and, of course, podcast friend Ewan, who used to be a wrestler himself. It's big news for you guys that are right in it. Like I said before, Derek, it's great that we're getting extra coverage, from a fan base all over the world, and he's done that, and it will raise awareness for the club and something completely different in the trophy room as well, isn't it? So we've got a few strange trophies in there, but that's certainly one that I don't think there'll be a trophy like that in another trophy room for any football club in the world. Maybe a first for Rangers to have a wrestling trophy amongst all that as well. So no, great to see Derek, and as you say, the guy came good on his word as well. So well done.
It kind of drew a bit of a mainly positive reaction, a few bad reactions though, saying that, well, wrestling's tacky, it should be maybe hung up in the training facility rather than in the trophy room. But I think people are maybe forgetting we've got lots of, as you said, various different things in there that's not football related at all. We've got a fucking bicycle in there, for God's sake, but it's there because there's a story behind it linked to the club, which is exactly what this is. So it's another fantastic piece of memorabilia at the end of the day. It's a fantastic gift as well, so keep them coming, Drew.
Exactly, yeah.
Intercontinental one next, please.
I don't know what that means, but I'll agree with you, Derek.
Aye. Next thing, it's been confirmed that fans will be allowed into Hampden for the Euro fixtures, only around, I think, 12 or 15,000, I think, as well. There's a very limited amount of home fans going to get to go in, so as usual, prawn sandwich munchers will get a majority of the tickets. However, the same courtesy cannot be extended to the Scottish Cup final, as it's claimed that preparation for Euro 2020 games will be taking place there. Utter bollocks from the SFA in this one. Simple solution is move it to Ibrox or Parkhead.
Yep, no, simple, Derek, and it would be a fantastic way for them to test how it's going to work. I had a feeling that it wouldn't be, Derek. I had a feeling that they would find some excuse not to do it. It feels like we're being pushed constantly back, and I think the whole thing with the Euros has been done through mega gritty teeth that the powers that be have allowed this to happen. I think the pressure that they've had from the rest of Europe and from down south to make sure that there's fans in there for the championships. That's the only reason that it's been allowed. Again, it just shows that the football is put very, very low on their priorities, especially when we know that things are numbers for the virus have plummeted, and the success rate, the vaccine rollout and everything. It's quite incredible. It was the perfect opportunity to trial it, to get a trial run going with fans in the stadium to see how it worked, rather than them hoping that it's going to be all right on the day for a major tournament, major finals to be. But I wasn't surprised at all. It was a great opportunity, but no. They'll not do it in Scotland, and it's just been pure pressure by Europe and by down south to make sure that the stadium's open in Scotland, and I think that's the only reason that they've allowed it.
Yeah, I mean, here's the daft thing as well, is had COVID not happened, under normal circumstances, the Scottish Cup final would have happened anyway with full amount of fans, and very shortly after the Euros would have happened. So I cannot fathom what extra preparation he's done that prevents fans getting into the stadium, but as usual, SFA. Yeah. Last piece of Rangers news here is the dates for the Champions League qualifiers have been confirmed. Rangers go in at the third round, so a two-legged affair on the 3rd and 4th of August, and then on the 10th of August, and then through to the playoffs, which is the 17th, 18th August, and then the 24th, 25th of August. This is the good thing, though, is should we fail to get past the third round, we drop into the Europa League playoffs. Should we fail to win the playoff in the Europa League, then we go straight into the group stages of the new Europa Conference group stage. So it's guaranteed European football either way you see it. Obviously, we want to get through the Champions League for the financial aspect of it.
We'll be in the Champions League, mate. Keep the faith. We'll be there.
Let's a bit of hope anyway.
Yep.
Last piece of footballing news here is Ian Murray was on Sports Sound, and I believe the discussion was around the Colts team and our push to get them in the league. Mm-hmm. And he came away with, if Rangers want to improve young players so much, why don't they give Patterson to Hibs or Hearts and don't ask for any money?
No bother.
This is the level of punditry we've got.
Oh my God, I know. Probably the best young player in Scotland, and we'll give him away just to Hibs or Hearts, just for a laugh.
I honestly wonder about folk. I really do.
Unbelievable.
And this really could be the last story because it's absolutely comical. Right. Alan Thompson he's not content with trying to flog a jacket on Twitter.
Oh my God.
He put a seemingly drunken late night post up of a picture when he stuck the head in Lovenkrands, and Lovenkrands made a meal of it. And there was a caption of someone calling Lovenkrands a coward, and he put lots of hashtags as well. Now, I don't know what the best bit of this is. The fact that he's still hurting
I know what the best bit is, Derek. Yeah. I hope you're going to say it right.
Well, I don't know if it's the fact that he's still hurting about an incident 16 years ago, or the fact that it was completely, absolute no relevance to just now at all, or the fact that he put hashtag
No, that is up there, Derek. That is up there, right? With Dean Windass sending a message to himself on Twitter and replying to it. That's right up there. Hashtag Ali McCoist. That was an absolute... Honestly, I was wetting myself laughing. As you say, a guy pissed, still bitter and has absolutely no clue how Twitter works, Derek. It was absolutely brilliant. Hashtag Ali McCoist. I'm so glad you brought that up. It was brilliant. Absolutely hilarious. That was a great comedy moment there. Thanks very much, Alan. You really did make our night there. You really did.
So, man who divorced sex doll wife, now in a throuple with a new doll he considers a sister.
Derek, this isn't inflatable Ingrid, is it?
It's not, and he's not even a Celtic fan either with the Celtic sister link here. Yuri Tolchko is no stranger to pushing people's boundaries due to his unconventional relationship setup. The bodybuilder from Kazakhstan has revealed he is now in a throuple with two sex dolls, one who he claims is a half chicken and the other he considers his sister.
Oh my God.
The Burley man unveiled his latest addition to his harem, and many people pointed out that that she looked incredibly young. He apologised to his tens of thousands of followers and ensured she is of legal sex doll age and welcomed her to the world.
Oh my God, right.
He went on to say that, so most of you suggested give her the name Luna. I decided to heed your advice and I will call her Luna. And also some of you thought she was young, a teenager, he said. Although Luna is an adult, she just looks like that because she's Asian and many Asian girls are so very young.
Oh my God, I do want to know. It gets worse. How it possibly could get worse after that, but it did, right?
The world was only just coming to grips with Yuri's new partner Lola, and now we've been introduced to someone else. Lola made her big debut last month when Yuri uploaded a mildly NSFW video of the pair getting rather intimate. He told his followers, Lola has a woman's head and a chicken's body. The noodle has depth and can be used as a vagina and a penis inserted into it. I'll show you this one day, he says. I identify her as a massive chicken.
Derek, I'm worried. I'm worried about the story, and I'm worried about where you find. I've said it umpteen times, but I think you've maybe actually topped the stories here, and it's just to find out where you get these stories from. I've got absolutely no idea. Oh my God.
Sources, Dave, sources.
It's no sources. That is sick. Oh, so, dearie dear.
On that note, we will end the podcast.
Oh, my God. Right.
So, it came to my attention the other day when I actually checked the website looking for Dave's classic match to just make sure he hadn't done it before.
Yep.
I am about 8 or 9 episodes behind in updating our website, which is ireadypodcast.wordpress.com. So I will get round to that at some point, but you can go out and check all other stuff that they do, minus the last maybe about 3 months worth of podcasts and match reactions. So
I know. I mean, you've not missed much. Just the fact that we've won the league title for the first time in like 10 years. You know.
Yeah, exactly. Aye.
Never mind. So we've got a few games obviously to cover in the next podcast. Well, I don't know when that will be, maybe next week or the week after, certainly. But certainly all to play for at the weekend and looking forward to it. Yeah, looking forward to it, Derek. I'm looking for a big performance from the players and, good luck. And let's go and get out of the next round of the Cup as well. I want the double, Derek.
Yep, so do I. Right, thanks for listening and goodbye.
Take care, folks. Bye-bye.
And the stadium erupts in red, white and blue. You've never seen anything like it.